Your blessing is not always your breakthrough. Sometimes it's the trap. And if there's one sin quietly rotting more marriages, more callings, more answered prayers than anything else right now, it's the one nobody wants to admit they still struggle with in private. It doesn't stop your blessing from coming. That's the terrifying part. It lets the blessing arrive. It lets you celebrate. It lets you post the pictures, say the vows, walk into the new job, the new season, the new yes from God. And then, quietly, it starts eating the inside of the very thing you prayed for. There was a man who prayed for a wife for 11 years. God finally answered. 14 months later, the marriage was gone. He never told anyone why. He didn't have to. He knew exactly what he'd been doing in secret long before he ever said, "I do." It didn't stop the day he got married. It just went quiet. And what goes quiet in secret doesn't disappear. It waits. Here's what almost no one understands about lust. It's not just a sin of the body. It's a transaction in the spirit. And every transaction has a payment. Proverbs 6 verse 26 says a man reduced to a piece of bread by an adulterous woman, and the adulteress will prey upon his very life. Not his reputation, not his finances first, his life. That word means his soul, his substance, the essence of who he is. Lust doesn't just take a moment of pleasure. It takes something from your future and spins it now. Think about what a blessing actually is. It's not just the job, the spouse, the breakthrough. A blessing carries the fingerprint of God's favor on your life. It's supposed to increase. It's supposed to protect you. But 1 Corinthians 6 verse 18 says something most people read past too fast. It says, "Flee sexual immorality, because every other sin a man commits is outside the body. But this sin is against his own body, against the very temple carrying the blessing." You cannot defile the temple and expect the glory inside it to stay untouched. So here's what actually happens, step by step, and this is the part that should make you uncomfortable. Lust opens a door. Through fantasy, through what you allow your eyes to linger on, through what you tell yourself is harmless because no one else can see it. And what walks through that door doesn't announce itself as a demon. It announces itself as a habit, a private one, a comfortable one. But Galatians 6 verse 7 doesn't care how private it was. Be not deceived. God is not mocked. Whatsoever a man sows, that shall he also reap. Lust is a seed, and seeds don't stay buried forever. They grow into something at a time you didn't choose, in an area of your life you least expect. Sown in secret, harvested in public. That's why the blessing that should have been your breakthrough becomes the very thing exposing what you hid. The marriage that should have healed you starts mirroring the same brokenness you never dealt with. The promotion that should have opened doors starts opening temptations you weren't strong enough for. The blessing didn't fail you. It revealed what was already growing underneath it. And here's the question you need to sit with right now, not later. Now, what have you been calling harmless that God has been calling a door? Because David asked for a king's heart and got it. And the same eyes that once wrote worship songs turned toward a rooftop, toward a woman that wasn't his, and what followed wasn't just guilt. It was a dead child, a fractured family, a kingdom that never fully recovered its peace. The blessing of the throne stayed, but the curse walked in right beside it, and it never fully left. So does this mean your blessing is already ruined? No. Psalm 51 exists because David didn't stay in his sin. He broke in front of God over it. Create in me a clean heart wasn't a defeated prayer. It was a man taking his blessing back from the thing trying to steal it. The door lust opened can be closed, not by willpower alone, but by confession that doesn't hide anymore and a surrender that means it. What was sown in secret can be uprooted before it's fully grown if you stop protecting it and start exposing it to God tonight. So ask yourself honestly, is there a door still open in you right now that your blessing hasn't been strong enough to survive? If this spoke to something you've been hiding, don't scroll past it. Like this video, subscribe, and share it with someone who needs to hear that the door can still be closed.